buddy? Would you like to be in a video? Do you want to be in a video? Once I film this, then we'll go for a walk, all right? We'll go to the dog park maybe, once it's stopped raining. We should probably light this, shouldn't we, for a bit of ambiance. Beautiful. Whoa, look at that. So this is a nowhere sponsored video, but if you like energy drinks, this is the best one ever created. Okay, let's get into this. Today when I woke up, the plan was to go out on the Sea-Doo with Jaded Jordan, that you guys will know if you watched last week's video.
Cheers, YouTubers.
He has a sailboat that he has just renovated, I guess, and they're now trying to sell it. And so the idea was to take it out for its maiden voyage today with the new sails. I was going to take some cool pictures of it on the way, and then they were going to use those to try to sell it. I woke up this morning, it was pissing down with rain, and Jordan texted me a picture from the security camera on his big boat and was like, yeah, this sucks. So we ended up not being able to go out on the Sea-Doo, which was a real shame because I was looking forward to getting out in the ocean. And so I thought, do you know what I haven't done? I haven't talked about watches for a while. And since the last video, I have been sent 3 different watches. Well, actually no, I've been sent 2 different watches, and then I've paid for one of them myself. And basically, I figured this would be a great time to sit down while it's a little bit gross outside and have a chat about watches. So, if you're sitting comfortably, if you need to go make a cup of tea, go and do that now, because we are about to begin. Which one do we start with? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This one. All right, we'll put these 2 to the side. So, first up, this is a watch brand that I hadn't heard about before they sent me a message on Instagram or sent me an email. But then when I looked into them, I realized that they are a company with a lot of heritage, a lot of history. They were founded in 1919, so they just celebrated their 100-year anniversary. And they make some very nice sort of traditional, more traditional, but then also some kind of like sporty adventure watches. And this one I'm about to show you is sort of a modern rethink on one of their watches, I believe from the 70s. Everything's on their website, so I am definitely not by any means a watch expert, but I will do my best to do them justice. This is their Archimedes watch, and as you can see from the packaging, it's very nice. You get this nice paper that says 1919, because that's when they were founded, and then you get this little pouch, which is lovely. Let's put those to the side. And then here is the watch. Now, I'll do some cutaways so that you can actually see this. But I asked them to send me, because this comes on a leather strap, and obviously I'm vegan, so I try not to wear leather or have leather goods wherever possible. So I asked them to send me a variety of straps that weren't leather. So they sent me their rubber strap, which is very nice. It's got this like perforation to it. And then they also sent me this kind of chainmail stainless steel looking one that I don't know that I like it, but it's cool to see that they have options so that you can take the watch and obviously give it very different looks. Let me just pull this out, and I'm gonna put it on the rubber strap to begin with. But this is the head of the watch. It's absolutely beautiful. It's quite heavy, so it's an automatic movement, and it features a bi-rotational, so it will go both ways, chapter ring, so you can adjust up to probably the top crown, and then you can spin that around, because this is technically like a diver's watch. It does have a helium escape valve on the side, which is very nice. But yeah, let me put it on this strap quickly. They have these very nice quick release straps, so this should be pretty simple. There you go. So as you can see, it's a 41mm brushed steel case. So this thing is rated, I believe, to 300 meters. So it is a through and through, yeah, there you go, 300 meters, 1,000 feet. It is a through and through diver's watch. It's more traditional looking than, say, like a Rolex sport model, like a Submariner or something like that. I do like the 2 crowns and the fact that it has this quite a round face, and then the lugs at the top and the bottom are pretty sort of subtle. You know, they're not molded heavily into the case to make that, like I said, with like a Submariner or even the Seikos, where the case and the lugs are all sort of one. This is very much a round face with the lugs for the straps on the top and the bottom. I love the green. It's I don't know if I'll be able to do this justice, but it's a very nice kind of like deep, almost like a British racing green. Kind of reminds me of the sort of green that you would see on the old Jaguars back in the day. And if you catch it in the right light, it's got this lovely sort of, not metallic, but you see the depth in it. So it almost goes from a black to then like quite a light green. So the hands on it, again, everything's on their website, so I'm not going to try and quote all of their information here. I'm just going to give you my, like, you know, watch lover, but not I wouldn't call myself an enthusiast because I don't know all the numbers and stuff, but I do love watches. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it rather than try and run you off all the tech specs. Like I said, I know that it's an automatic movement, which is nice. Obviously that means that you've either got to keep it on a winder, or every time you put it on, you have to reset the time and the date. You've got the date window here at 3 o'clock, and then you've got the hour markers on the 12, the 6 and the 9, so you don't have the hour on the 3. I like the hands. They've got like these big arrows, so the hour hand is like quite a big arrow, and then the seconds hand has that circle in the middle there, so it's very clear. So if you were trying to time something, you wouldn't be off missing how many seconds you were on. So very, very good looking watch, very nicely made. I literally haven't worn this out yet. I got it, and then I wanted to make this video, so I actually haven't worn it anywhere, but I need to change that because it is beautiful. And the movement, like when you adjust, so I just adjusted the time here. When you adjust the time, you can see how one full rotation of the crown sort of gets you, let's see, so one full rotation, so it's almost a one-to-one drive. So by doing like if I go up to 12, by doing a half turn on the crown, I get a half turn on the hour hand, or the minute hand, should I say. A lot of watches, you'll turn it like a quarter of a turn and the thing will be spinning like this. So that's very nice, very precise. You can very easily set the time, and it doesn't take a long time if you had to go all the way through and cycle through to the 12 to get the date to the right place. So yeah, very, very impressed with this watch. Now, this is quite spendy, so let me tell you from their website exactly how spendy this is. If you want one of these, you are looking at $2,128 from their website. They do them in different colored faces, but yeah, just a very nice, sort of more traditional looking, subtle watch, like I said, 41mm case. I absolutely love this thing. I think I would wear it in sort of a dressy situation. I'm not sure that this would be my daily watch. I prefer a more sporty one, but definitely in a more like, you know, with a suit. It's obviously relatively low profile considering it does have a helium escape valve on it. So it would fit nicely under a shirt. I just absolutely love this. Obviously I'm using this on the rubber, but you could also put it onto the stainless and then kind of really change up the look. And actually the stainless kind of, I said I didn't like it, but when you hold it up, it does look quite cool. It sort of gives it this more like retro look almost. It kind of reminds me of like watch. I don't know if my granddad ever had a watch with a strap like this, but that's the kind of feeling I'm getting. But yeah, so it's nice they have different options, and on the website you can find all the different straps they do, including the leather ones if you want a leather strap as well. Re-up the old caffeine. Watched the UFC last night. I don't know if you guys are into it. Very good fights. If you're into UFC, hit me up on Instagram. I'm always, before the fights, posting up whether I'm watching, and then it's always good to go back and forth with you guys about who you think is going to be the winner and who you're rooting for. Also, very excitingly, tomorrow I start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training for the first time in about 2 years, maybe 3 years. I did a little bit when I lived in Venice. I trained at Fabricio Verdum's gym, and that was amazing. I did that for about 7 months and loved it. But then when I moved, it was a little bit too far to go, and so I haven't done jiu-jitsu since. So now that I'm all vaccinated and everything, and you know, COVID's kind of dying down, and we're in the position where I feel like if I'm going to do a martial art where someone is going to sweat into my mouth, I feel like we're kind of getting there now. So yeah, I start my training tomorrow. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. And I'll keep you guys updated, because jiu-jitsu is something that if you aren't into martial arts, I'm sorry if this is boring and you came here for a watch video, but I absolutely love it. And I'm a 4th degree black belt in karate. I've done that since I was 4 years old. The first time I did jiu-jitsu, I had my soul taken from me by a 14-year-old girl. She choked me, legitimately choked me 4 or 5 times, and there was nothing I could do about it. And that was the day where I said, I need to learn how to do this. So very much looking forward to that. And hopefully this is the start of a long journey that will eventually lead to me being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu one day. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, so next one is from a good friend of mine who you guys might remember from the lesson where I did my very first flying lesson, which, by the way, I am going to continue with. Again, post-COVID, I did my first lesson January, went into lockdown in March, so I couldn't do anything after that. But I will be getting back in an airplane. I am committed to getting my private pilot's license. But Abingdon, who was my instructor, this is her watch company. This watch right here is the Abingdon Co Jordan, and this is actually a women's watch. However, the reason why I wanted to show you guys is because even though it's a lady's watch, it, I believe, is a 40mm case. So the case is big. To give you a comparison against the 41mm MILUS, you know, it definitely looks substantial. Now, obviously, the MILUS has those low-profile lugs, like I was saying, whereas this one, the case is more molded into them. It actually has this cool little quick-release system on the strap, so you can just pinch these two little things underneath, and then it allows you to disconnect the strap. But this watch is great because it is a chronometer, a tachymeter. It's one of them, and basically it's a stopwatch. So if you push this top one right here, then the second hand starts to count, and as the second hand starts to count, you then stop it, and then when you push, woo, that's cool. I didn't expect it to do that. So when you push the reset, it does like a full sweep all the way around. I thought it was just going to click back, but it does a full sweep. Now, this is a quartz watch. This is an automatic movement, so it's quartz. And it's actually a very, very good looking watch. Like I said, predominantly, this is a ladies' watch. The Abingdon Co is a ladies' watch company. However, this watch could be worn by a man because it is definitely, stand by, wow, and especially with the strap coming as big as it does from the factory. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Like, that looks as big as any other watch that I have. Probably because it's 40mm, and it is as big as any other watch that I have. But you could definitely wear this as a man. Nobody is going to call you out and say, why are you wearing a ladies' watch, bud? I mean, if you want to wear ladies' watches, then that's your prerogative. You can do that. I have no problem with it. However, if you want to wear a ladies' watch that doesn't look like a ladies' watch, this is the one for you. I love the red dials. So this is like a sporty racing watch. That's the inspiration behind it. And it actually reminds me a lot, like I said, of the Rolex Daytona with the two sub-dials inside there. So we have military time as well. So if you look on the right-hand sub-dial, we have military time, and then the left sub-dial, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's, so when you do the stopwatch, that's your minutes. So every time that goes around, your little one on the left is going to count round, and that can go all the way up to 45, 50, 60, so it goes around to 60. So I presume you can do 60 hours worth of timing, I think. It's nice that it's got that little red detail as well that kind of looks like the RPM on a tacho on a car. So where you go into the red line and it turns red, that's sort of like a little tip of the hat to that. Very nice hands as well, I believe. This one's got some, yeah, so the loom as well on this is nice. But yeah, just a very attractive watch. The back of it's beautiful as well. You've got this aeroplane, which is obviously the Abingdon logo. They're an aviators watch company primarily, and now Abingdon is branching out into all kinds of areas of women's adventure and yeah, just general badassery. So great company. Obviously Abingdon's a friend of mine, but I'm not just saying that. They're a great company. They stand for a lot of good stuff. They're all about women's empowerment and celebrating women that are doing amazing things. So if you want a cool watch for your girlfriend, if you're into watches and you'd like to get something for your girlfriend that maybe she can relate to a little bit more rather than, you know, one of the other brands that perhaps aren't so much tailored for women, then definitely give the Abingdon Co a look. I'll link everybody's stuff in the description here, but well worth a look. They also do this one in stainless with I believe it's a green dial as well that looks pretty cool. This is the Abingdon Co Jordan. Go check them out. And Abingdon, thank you for sending me this watch to share with my audience. Oh God, I actually set myself on fire there. Little secret. Actually cut a whole part of that video there because I started to talk about the watch and I had to take the plastic off, and it took me so long and I couldn't get this last piece off, and so I was just like, I just gotta start this again because you guys are gonna be so bored of watching me try and remove plastic. One of the things that I was gonna show you that I forgot is the fact that it has, this is, yeah, important, is it has this other crown at the 6 o'clock position. And if you adjust this crown, you can actually adjust the chapter ring on the inside, and the chapter ring will give you a second time zone. So for example, England, where my family are, they're 8 hours ahead. So to tell the time in England, what I do is I set the 8 on the chapter ring to the 12 o'clock position. So then I know that if the hour hand is pointed at 12 my time, then it's 8 p.m. in the UK, or 8 a.m. depending on where we are, AM or PM. And so now, for example, here it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But if I look at the outer dial, then I can see that it's pointing to the 10, which means it's 10 p.m. in England. There's also a section where I tried to figure that out and I couldn't work it out because I hadn't got the time set. So I was like, this isn't working. Why isn't this, like, I know this is how these work. So yeah, I did watch the UFC last night and I did have a couple of beers, so I am running a little bit slow this morning. So anyway, that is the rest of the features on the Abingdon Co watch. In case you're wondering why it just cut and then I came back in from the side, it's because I finished recording this video where I went through this third watch and then did an outro and everything, and realized that the camera had stopped recording because I'd gone over 30 minutes. Okay, let's review this watch again. This watch is from Mr. Jones Watches, and this is a collaboration watch with a Belgian artist, a guy called Christophe Devos, who's an illustrator and an author, and the core of his work is as a picture book illustrator. He creates books for children of all ages on themes such as friendship, death, and standing up for yourself. So this was a very inexpensive watch. I think I paid about $120 for it. And the reason I bought this is because one of my Instagram followers sent me a link to it, and I just thought it was so cool that I didn't know if I was going to wear it because I didn't really know if it was going to be big enough. As it transpires, it isn't. However, even if I'm not going to wear it, this will make for a perfect gift watch for the right person. I don't know who that person is yet, but it's just such a fun watch. So this is it. So this watch is, like I said, it's a collaboration with this artist. And if you look at it, you've got a guy sat on a rubber ring in a swimming pool with a top-down view. And his leg is sticking out, and that points towards the hour. Then the little rubber ducky floating around, that points towards the minute. And so basically you kind of have to follow his leg and then find the duck, and then that eventually tells you the time. Now this is called a perfectly useless afternoon. And so it's just a fun sort of whimsical watch. There's really not a reason why I wanted to buy it, other than the fact that I just think it looks cool. I love the concept behind it. For a relatively inexpensive watch, $120 or 120 pounds, I forget which one it was. Just a cool, quirky, like fun thing. It's on this yellow rubber strap. Now it is very small. So for me, I feel like it's too small for my wrist. I think it's a 38 or a 39 millimeter case. Very low profile as well, kind of a novelty watch. It's in that G-Shock kind of price range where it was cheap enough that, you know, I could afford to buy it. And, you know, it wasn't so expensive that I had to think twice about it. So that's why I ended up with it. And like I said, I'll gift this to someone for sure. I won't wear it myself. I just thought this was a very fun purchase, and yeah, something that is cool to own. And I'm really not a snob when it comes to watches. Like, yes, expensive watches are great, and I love certain expensive watches. However, I'm more about like when a watch speaks to me and what that means and kind of how it makes me feel. So certain watches I like because of how they look, you know, like this one. I like it because it's a quirky watch. Some watches I like because of their technical innovation. Some watches I like because of the history behind the company. You know, like it really doesn't matter to me how much they are. Obviously, the MILUS is very expensive. This is a $2,000 watch. The Abingdon Co watch, this is a $600 watch. And then this one's $120. But I love them all the same. You know, they all interest me. So yeah, I'm really not too fussed on how much things cost, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to buy a watch that you really enjoy. I think that resonated well with people in my last watch videos too, is how I'm not tied to any one brand or any one, you know, price bracket. I just buy and wear what I like, you know, what talks to me. And you guys should do the same. I get a lot of messages from people asking me what watch I should buy first, how I should start collecting watches. Is this Fossil watch going to lose money? Is this Panzera going to lose money or gain money or whatever it is? And honestly, that's not how I look at watches. Of course, there's some safe bets. The Rolex sport models and things, you're probably not going to lose your money on those. But realistically, for me personally, that's not why I'm into watches. I'm not into watches so that when I come to sell them, I won't lose money, just in the same way that I wouldn't buy a car and not drive it because I wouldn't want the depreciation. If I want something, I want to enjoy it to its fullest potential, and I'll deal with depreciation or whatever, or not, as the case may be, down the line. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. It's been really fun to kind of show you these watches, and if you think that there's any brands that I should check out, if you'd like to see any brands, if you want me to try and get hold of some and, you know, chat about them, I'm not a watch expert by any stretch. There are plenty of very, very smart people on YouTube that put out very high-end watch content, and they know every movement, and they know this and that and the other. Oh, by the way, this is a quartz movement. I don't think I said that. This is a quartz movement, not an automatic movement. you know, I'm not about that. I'm here to tell you what I think of a watch, how it looks, how it feels, you know, what it does to me. That's what I'm here for. So if you enjoy that type of content and you would like to see more, please let me know in the comments and give this video a big thumbs up, because that really helps with the whole YouTube algorithm thing. Let me know other watches you think I might like that I should check out. And yeah, I guess that's it. Coming up, we have quite a few fun things. I have another road trip that I'm planning. Don't know where to yet, but I just need to get out and go and do some adventuring with the doggo. We have more Sea-Doo adventures. There might be some collaboration stuff coming up with the Sea-Doo stuff. We're working on that at the moment, which should be fun. Then what else? The Golf R, we're gonna go stage 3. So Precision Motorworks 034, Racing Line. I've got some Bilstein suspension that has arrived for it that's waiting to go on at stage 3. Yeah, so we've got a lot of cool stuff planned for that. What else? I think, oh, new merch. So there's been a year since I dropped this merch. And so I think pretty much all of you now that wanted it have got it. I'm almost sold out of everything. And so I'm ready to start a new line for this summer. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to keep with the neon, obviously, because that is my brand color now. And yeah, we're going to do some cool stuff. So new merch will be coming in the not too distant future. So I think that's it, guys. The sun is starting to come out, which is nice. So I think I'm going to take advantage of it. Diesel is asleep on my bed right now, but I'm going to go wake him up and we're going to go to the dog park. So thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate you supporting these videos, allowing me to do what I do. I'm having an absolute blast, and yeah, it just makes me so happy to be able to create content and to get your feedback and, you know, hear about you guys that are getting out there, finding your everyday adventure, doing what you love and pushing yourself so that you can get to a position whereby you are absolutely taking life by the horns and living it to the full. So thank you guys so much. Remember, until next time, don't do anything I wouldn't do. See ya.